Please listen carefully.
Well, hello, universe. Welcome to the Optimist Daily Update. I'm Summers McKay.
And I'm Kristy Jansen, and we're part of the team behind the Optimist Daily, making solutions the news. We bring you reader-funded solutions news every day in order to change the tenor of news media, social media, and the direction of your day to one focused on solutions.
7 days a week, we publish positive news stories written by award-winning journalists and delivered online to your inbox and through our social channels. And also, we are sharing these solutions in a commute-worthy, walk-worthy, home office-worthy podcast. Today is Thursday, the 29th of October, 2020. Oh, Thursday. How's your Thursday looking so far, Kristy?
It's okay. These weeks just fly by, I have to say. Full disclosure, after reading today's solutions and the note about how important a morning yoga practice can be to being productive, I have to admit that my yoga practice has not been that regular.
You're slacking on your yoga.
I'm slacking. Yes, it's time to reattach to that daily dose of yoga.
Good. Well, I have no idea what a yoga body feels like anymore. Kristy and I have been talking a lot about getting back in touch with our physical selves and getting out of our heads and into our bodies. And it's such a charming notion, but I am not expecting morning yoga for a while, but maybe eventually. I did, however, get something that is potentially a solution to expand my reachability and productivity, but also freeing me up a little bit. I got a Samsung smartwatch. So it has a mindfulness reminder on it. So maybe it'll remind me to be more meditative.
Well, even just having a couple minutes of controlled breathing can really lower your blood pressure.
Yeah.
So if you do that regularly, that could definitely boost your overall mood. It's interesting how the rhythm of this pandemic period has gone. Like in the beginning, I had tons of energy to try new things. Then I kind of got into a funk. Then I got a little bit more active, and I feel like I'm a little bit in a funk. And I don't know if just the world being a little unsettled.
Yeah.
Anyway, I feel like it's time to reattach to the healing practices that I had started earlier in this pandemic season and really get refocused on that. Thinking about like the holidays coming up and the friends and family that I won't be close to this year on a physical level,
right,
is actually a little bit distressing to me. I mean, we were talking about Halloween yesterday, this week, and I think the fact that normal trick-or-treating for our young people in our lives, for our kids, and how that we're going to have to modify how they handle it just to keep them safe and our families safe. That's a little painful, a little sad, but it is what it is. So I think that as we come into the holiday season, just staying mindful and staying connected however we can would be really important to pursue.
Right. Well, I agree. The Western traditional holiday season that we're going into is traditionally a challenging emotional time for people too, because there is that intensity, there's obligation, there's tradition, there's history, there's memories. And I think you're right that as we go into this next season, we really do need to recenter ourselves on gratitude and on kindness. And sneak preview.
I knew you were going to do this. Yes, good.
I'll leave this little sneak preview for everybody, but we are going to be launching a season of gratitude on the Optimist Daily. Yes. And Kristy, tell us just like a smidge, don't give away the whole kit and caboodle, but just what can people look forward to in the month of November on the Optimist Daily?
Every Thursday, starting next Thursday, a week from today, we will be having one of our top 5 articles will be focused on Thankful Thursdays. We're partnering with a nonprofit called The Lost Art of Love Letters, and it'll give us all writing prompts on writing a gratitude letter to somebody in our lives, whether that's us, someone in our family, someone who is distant from us, maybe somebody who we consider an enemy. I don't know. Next Thursday, we're going to have Sandra Weiss, who's the founder and main force behind The Lost Art of Love Letters, on the podcast, and we'll hear more from her. But we're really excited to do this project. It's about self-healing. Gratitude is definitely an important attitude to bring to positivity, to mental health support. And it can also help us feel more connected to the people who matter in our lives and to other inanimate objects in our lives. The air, the water, the earth, our fish. I have a little
Wait,
fish
wait,
here.
wait. Okay, so speaking of inanimate, but they're actually animate, and I'm sorry for this like quick transition. Yes, it will be amazing in November, but did you find the snake?
Oh, yes, we did. We found the snake. He was under a bookshelf by the exterior wall where it got sunny in the morning. So he was nice and warm over there.
Toasty and cozy. Oh, good.
Safely back in his enclosure with a heating pad and a heat light because it's been really cold. I'm sitting here this morning wearing a turtleneck. I haven't worn a sweater almost for more than a year, so I was really worried about the cold-blooded creature.
Yeah, absolutely.
Out in the world.
My winter work wardrobe includes a very fuzzy pair of pink slippers that I ordered online. It's getting chilly, and when I get up early in the mornings with a very enthusiastic, seemingly temperature agnostic baby who has no problem with it being freezing, I wrap up. It is definitely getting chilly here in Central California. I know the rest of the country is also experiencing weather, and so we've kind of got nothing to complain about. But yeah, turtlenecks and fuzzy slippers and Gratitude Thursdays. And before we get too far into it, should we maybe, I don't know, talk about
what are our favorite stories today, Summers? What story did you want to highlight?
All right. Well, anyone who read your daily email this morning already knows exactly what I'm going to talk about because it is a ocean lover's paradise. This headline reads, marine scientists discover coral reef taller than the Empire State Building. And this is from the environment section of the Optimist Daily. So the charted world of the underseas is, it's the most uncharted place on Earth. We know the least about it. There have been tremendous advances into understanding what is under the ocean. And just recently, some scientists in Australia discovered a detached coral reef more than 500 meters high at the Great Barrier Reef. So this is kind of interesting. It basically looks like an Empire State Building blade-like vertical reef, and it is off the coast of Queensland, and it was found during 3D seabed mapping projects conducted by a nonprofit organization called Schmidt Ocean Institute. So the principal investigator named Tom Bridge said the reef was 1.5 kilometer wide at its base and rose 500 meters within just 40 meters of the surface. So for anyone who is a scuba diver, you'd have to be a pretty deep diver to get there, but it is not too far from the surface of the ocean. And basically, it's a pretty big reef not to have known about. It's absolutely beautiful. If you go onto YouTube, you can look at the different pictures of it. It doesn't have a lot of hard coral in its upper section. Hard coral is, kind of coral that's been there for a long time, but it has a great number of sponges, sea fans, and soft corals, indicating the area is rich in nutrients. So it's just so fun when we get good news about reefs, especially the Great Barrier Reef, because the health and sustainability of our ocean really depends on coral reef health. So I dove deep into my Little Mermaid world, looking at the pictures on that today, and it got me pretty excited.
I love this. And have you watched my Octopus Teacher yet, Summers?
No.
Nor have we, but no, I've been hearing lots of wonderful things about that. So I think this story is going to inspire me to finally turn that on, maybe either tonight or this weekend with my family, because that's definitely been a fantastic movie from what I hear. And
yeah,
the idea of watching these luscious sea creatures in the reefs off of Australia, definitely inspirational to me.
Absolutely. Well, I'm still working my way through Call the Midwife. It's like this weird thing that I have to watch an episode of that a night, but then it's so heavy and emotional because I'm watching it while hanging out with my baby who's sleeping next to me that I just when I'm done with an episode of that, I just have to fall asleep and just hold her as tight as possible. But as soon as I finish Call the Midwife, my Octopus Teacher is next up. And
right.
Brennan does say octopus, so I think I'll watch it with her.
She might love it.
I think she will.
Speaking of saving the wild and rewilding and acknowledging that we are a part of this natural world, even if we like to think of ourselves as separate, humans have a tremendous impact on the natural world. And the headline that I wanted to focus on reads, Japanese businesses launch digestible packaging to save local wild deers. Say that 10 times quickly and see what happens to your mouth.
That's like your morning mouth yoga.
Exactly. But I love this because it's an acknowledgement of the deep impact that just being a part of this world can have on the wild deers in our backyards and other wild creatures, whether it's the sea turtles who are eating plastic packaging in the oceans or the wild deers in Japan's ancient capital of Nara. Last year, a number of them died after eating plastic waste, which had been discarded by tourists. And so after acknowledging this, a number of local companies who are concerned about these very revered animals in this ancient capital city of Nara, they decided to step in and try to help protect the iconic animals. They developed some new wrappings made out of recycled pulp from milk cartons and rice bran, which is one of the main ingredients of the savory crackers that are fed to the deers. So basically, they just took some of the same materials and they turned them into a sustainable, digestible packaging for the treats that tourists would give to these deers. And I think this is really important to acknowledge how much of a negative impact plastic packaging has on the natural world around us, because these things eat them. When I was in India, you see, cows who are all over the streets just munching on plastic bags all the time.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that did to their digestion, but if we could think of ways to keep that in mind with our packaging, not only make it, I guess you can't just have purely digestible bags all the time for everything because, it might disintegrate when you're carrying your groceries, which is why you want to have like cloth bags and tote bags as much as possible and really move away from single-use plastics and find ways to preserve it and recycle it or make it so that it isn't as harmful and toxic to the creatures around us. So I like this story. That's why I wanted to highlight it.
Well, and assumedly the manufacturing of these also puts less toxicity out in the world as well. So there's just, again, no one solution. And we know that we can't replace all single-use plastics entirely, but the more we can, the better.
When I was a kid, actually, my grandparents would bring me little rice candies, which are wrapped in paper you could eat. And that was one of my favorite things. They were Japanese rice candies. And that was one of my favorite things because you could actually eat the wrapping.
I need those for Brennan because she eats paper all the time.
Exactly. So what else is the Optimist Daily today to get through the rest of the headlines?
Well, so some other headlines that were pretty inspiring. We've got revolutionary software translates chemist words into drug recipes. That is fantastic. That is out of University of Glasgow. So that's pretty interesting.
Basically, 3D printing of
words. Exactly. There is a startup producing rocket fuel using captured carbon. Exercise your way to the polls with a free bike ride. Bikes are going to be available from the North American Bike Share Association. There are 10 tasty alternatives to deli meats for your sandwiches. I actually saw a headline yesterday that was like, do not eat deli meat if you're old or pregnant.
Have peanut butter instead.
Exactly. Egg, waffle, nut butter, cream cheese, halloumi cheese. Oh my gosh. Okay, anyway, moving on. Extend the life of your jack-o'-lanterns with these tips and tricks so you can keep the Halloween spirit on your front porch and everyone can look at it far away. Let's see. We've got a population of endangered leopard species that are rebounding in China. And again, yay, leopard pictures. Morning yoga, do it, better for work. A nonprofit is bringing pizza to hungry voters waiting in line. Unprecedented waits for voting have really kind of brought our country together in a community sense that people are standing in line, but then other people are helping those standing in line. And I just love these stories about everything that's happening in the American vote, because guess what, guys? You got to vote. And we really love to encourage people to use your voice, use your vote, get out and vote. We don't have much time left before the election next week. And I know a lot of people are under a lot of pressure from it, but do use your voice and do go vote. And I think that's it on the Optimist Daily today.
That's it today. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the Optimist Daily Update. We promise to continue to share positive, solution-based stories with ideas on how you can participate in this changing world and ensure it's changed for the good. We promise to cover current events with accuracy, legitimate sources, and offer you the information needed most to chart new paths for all of us.
please consider becoming an emissary on the optimistdaily.com, and for just $5 a month, support reader-funded independent journalism. Be part of the solution, changing consciousness and addressing our world's biggest challenges with a problem-solving mindset. Let's keep the Optimist Daily free to all who need it, supported by those who can. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.